I'm Tom for DIY Life Tech, and today I am sharing a detailed look at my new Fitbit Inspire 3 smartwatch. So this is a fully featured smartwatch from Fitbit, and two things come to me right off the bat. I think that it's a very powerful smartwatch. We'll get into some of the sensors that it has, which are pretty remarkable, and it is not a particularly interesting, style-wise or design-wise smartwatch. It's pretty bulky, it's pretty boxy. There's no real innovation happening with the way that this thing looks. And I think Fitbit has sort of just given up on making something really stylish and sleek like the Apple Watch, and they've really put all their effort into the sensors and the capabilities. So it's kind of thick and boxy. You can see it for the size of it. I'm pretty underwhelmed by the design elements. The screen itself is fairly small. I'll switch it on. So you can see most of that real estate is not actually screen. It's just maybe that middle bit there. And again, design-wise, it's sort of just like that thick box. But honestly, that's not the purpose of this smartwatch. So let's get into what it's really for. So what this thing is really fantastic for is sensors. And it's amazing what they managed to pack into this watch. So it's not the sleekest, but it does have a lot in there. So you've got the basics like an accelerometer, so it can detect your movement, count your steps. Fitbit's always been super accurate. They have over 10 years of experience doing that, so I think they're one of the best on the market for counting steps. But then you also get a heart rate sensor. It shines a little light onto your skin and detects your heart rate using that light and the light that bounces back. So pretty impressive on that. It's also got the ability to detect your blood oxygen level while you sleep. So you get a reading for SpO2 or blood oxygen overnight. You get a live heart rate monitor again on there as you're working out. And it also has the ability to detect and calculate things like your stress level throughout the day, which is awesome. And then also to detect the stages of sleep when you're asleep. And you don't need to actually set it to do that. It detects when you go to sleep. It'll track when you're in light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep throughout the night and when you wake up. And it's really, again, got a lot of capabilities for such a a relatively small, not again the most sleek looking, but overall relatively small watch. So let's look at the basic controls. Touchscreen on there. We can scroll through the basics. On the home screen of the watch, we get the watch. We can swipe up and we get things like our step count for the day, distance, the number of active zone minutes, calories burned, hourly activity, so it'll track if you've moved every hour during the day. Not obviously tracking heart rate because I don't have it on my wrist right now. Sleep for the previous night, I haven't synced yet, so I don't have that in there. And then a sleep score, which is a 0 to 100 of how good your sleep was. The blood oxygen level for the previous night. So you get a lot of stuff on there. Then we can swipe through. It will take notifications from your phone. The touchscreen, as you can see, is not the most responsive in the world. You might have to swipe a couple of times to get to the next side. All right, there we go. Notifications, so you can get text message notifications from your phone. Exercise, so this is really cool. You can track walking, you can track running. It's going to sync with the GPS on your phone to track things like that. Swimming, it is fully waterproof, so you can take it in the pool for swimming. I think you can go down to 30 feet at least on there. And then basic things like a treadmill workout. So you can track your workouts very readily on there. It has this relax function where it tracks your breathing. You can do sort of a deep breathing or meditative type of session, which is neat. And then you've got alarms. I like the silent alarm. It'll just vibrate on your wrist so it doesn't wake up anyone around you. It can wake you up whatever time you want or remind you of something. Basic functions like timers and stopwatches on there. That's pretty much it. I mean, those are the core things we get on the Inspire 3 here. It does have a solid state button on the side, so if you want to wake the screen up, you can press the two buttons and that wakes up the screen on this watch. The band is a silicone band, so you can swap these out. Very adjustable. I find it's pretty comfortable. If you do use it in the water, you definitely want to take it off and let it dry before you put it back on. Super important. Keep this clean. Otherwise, pretty good band. It's pretty solid. It doesn't seem too tight. Now, the awesome thing with Fitbit is that all of that data gets synced via Bluetooth to your phone, and then you get these incredibly detailed analytics in the Fitbit app. So you can see in the app here, we get steps, we get heart rate and calorie data. This is that stress management score, where it's monitoring your stress level throughout the day. It gives you a score from 0 to 100, 100 being the best, and you can actually go into that if you have Fitbit Premium and get a breakdown and details about that score, track it over time. Again, sleep. It's tracking sleep automatically. You see the number of hours, you see the time you spent in each sleep stage. Really powerful, really awesome there. Readiness score, how ready you are for exercise. You can go into your health metrics and get some really advanced metrics like your heart rate variability, skin temperature, again, the O2 sat or oxygen saturation, breathing rate, and you can track that over time to see trends in some of those metrics over time. So very cool to see that if you're really into that like quantified self type of thing. You can do, track weight, you can track water consumption, but basically the biggest thing with the Fitbit Inspire 3 is that it has all the sensors that you need in order to do all of that tracking and get those really advanced metrics. Now, battery life has been really good for me on this. It's been about 4 or 5 days at least between charges. So I think the upside to that tiny little screen is that it just doesn't consume a lot of power. That's going to vary depending on how much you use the screen and how much you track exercise, which tends to use more power because it's connecting to the GPS. But overall, I found the battery life to be really good. And, despite the fact that I don't think it's the most interesting looking watch, it's really not going to win any design awards. The actual power of all those sensors and all of those data analytics in such a relatively compact and easy to wear package, I'm really impressed by that. And it's actually, I think, a fantastic device overall. So again, if you want the most stylish smartwatch, maybe not the best fit, but if you want something that's going to have a ton of sensors and capabilities, then the Fitbit Inspire 3 is going to be a really good option on those.